Hey everybody. Sorry, this is a little different than you're used to. Our intranet is down right now at the school at the time where I have time to record our lessons. So I have to record a little bit differently and record from the printed out packets that I've already printed out. So like I said, I do apologize that this is a little bit different, but I hope it's still useful for you. Today I'm going to be reading the fourth lesson from the Unique Learning Systems curriculum for February. And this article is titled Nicotine and You. Get the facts. So nicotine is a drug. It changes how you feel. Nicotine is in cigarettes, electronic cigarettes, vape pens, and chewing tobacco. So it's in all of those things. And I'm also sure that you know at least one person in your life that probably uses one of those products. I know I can think of multiple examples in my own life that uses those things. Let's turn to page 2. Nicotine is addictive. It is hard to quit nicotine. It is best to not use nicotine. When I think about people that smoke cigarettes or use chewing tobacco or anything like that, I always think about how hard it is for those people to quit those products. I know, like I said, from personal experience, from people within my own life that have tried to quit smoking cigarettes, for instance, and really struggle with that because nicotine is so addictive. Remember how we talked about in a lesson previous about addiction and how people feel, and that's the big word there, feel like they need those things to live. They need those things to survive. Nicotine in your body makes your body addicted to it. So your body feels like it needs it to survive. Let's turn to page 3. Nicotine hurts your health. Products with nicotine can cause cancer. Some people think vaping is safer, but doctors do not know if that is true. So personally, I have had people that have smoked cigarettes for a lot of their life and have passed away from cancer. Particularly, I knew somebody who passed away from esophageal cancer, and it was a very hard thing to go through, even as the person, on the sidelines, not the person going through it, not the person with cancer. Just like we talked about with alcohol, when you do these types of drugs, you have to think about the other people in your life as well. And then they do talk a little bit about vaping. Vaping is super popular right now, especially with people in their young 20s. I can speak to that a little bit because my little sister vapes, and she thinks it's safer than smoking because it's just vapor, she says. But there's really not a whole lot of research out there to know if it's safer or not. And right here in this article, it even says doctors do not know if that's true, if it's safer or not. Let's turn to page 4. So if you choose to use nicotine, you will spend lots of money. Your body will get old faster. It is not safe for people near you. So again, it's one of those things, we talked a little bit about this with alcohol. If you choose to use these products, you have to buy them, right? I tried to ask some people about how much cigarettes cost these days, and I think they do cost around $10 a pack. And I've known people that have smoked 1 to 2 packs a day. So when you think about that, even at $10 a pack, if you smoke a pack every single day, that's $70 a week. That's a lot of money that you could spend on other things. And again, we think about you know, people that are involved with people that smoke or something like that. If a parent smokes and, maybe they're not providing the things for their children, that's kind of sad sometimes because that money spent on smoking could be spent on things that are really needed to survive well. This also says that your body will get older faster. This is a good statistics as well. People that smoke typically don't live as long as people that don't smoke. It is also not safe for people near you because if you smoke, anybody that's around you is also breathing in that smoke. So if there's smoking in the house, your whole house probably smells like cigarette smoke. Your clothes may smell like it. Everything might smell like it. Let's move on to page 5. This is the last page of this article. So some people use nicotine. They made that decision. Is using nicotine a smart decision for you? So just like we talked about with alcohol, there comes a time in your life that alcohol and cigarettes are okay, or nicotine use is okay to use because it's legal, right? Once you turn 21, you can do either of these things. But it's smart to think about the effects that these types of drugs might have on your body. So you need to think, is it a smart decision for you? And then, like this is, they made that decision. We talked about you are in charge of what goes inside your body. You're responsible for you. So if you don't want to smoke or use chewing tobacco or vape or use an e-cigarette or something like that, you need to learn and practice to say no to people. It's totally okay to say no. So this last page here is all the words that we talked about while reading this story. So if you'd like to pause on this slide and talk about some of these words, you can go ahead and do so now. So we're also going to look at this diagram right here. And I apologize because this is, let's see if I can zoom in. It's not really wanting to zoom, sorry. So this is a little diagram, which is also in your packet, about how tobacco and nicotine affect your body. So what happens in your body? Because as we talked about, drugs, affect how your body works, and they usually affect how you think and how you feel. So tobacco contains nicotine. So tobacco is like the plant that is used to make these products. And nicotine is the drug that's in these products. So tobacco use can lead to addiction. Remember, we talked about addiction. Addiction is when a person feels like they can't live without something. Addiction happens when a person's body is so used to having nicotine that the body has to have it. Your body kind of craves it. People with nicotine addiction don't always make smart or safe choices for themselves. Like I said, we talked about that. If, a person's spending a lot of money on buying cigarettes or chewing tobacco, but maybe they're not eating very healthy, or they don't have money for food, or they don't have money for gas or their car, that's a little sad when you think about it, because their quality of life could be a whole lot better if they didn't purchase cigarettes or nicotine or any of these products. So we're going to start from the top of the body and work our way down. So let's look at this. Start over here. So this one says, smoking and chewing make your teeth turn yellow and cause gum disease. So, if you don't brush your teeth, of course, you can get yellow teeth and you could also get gum disease. But even if you brush your teeth, if you smoke or chew tobacco, your teeth turn yellow and you could also get gum disease, which gum disease is very sad. So a lot of people, when they get gum disease, their teeth fall out. It's very painful. It's hard to eat. Let's go over on this side and look at this top one. That guy's kind of like blowing his breath out. It's got green wavy lines. Smoking and chewing makes your breath smell bad. So it makes your breath smell like cigarettes or chewing tobacco, and it's not a really pleasant smell. Let's look at this one down here. Smoking, vaping, and chewing can cause cancer in many parts of your body, especially your lungs and your mouth. So cancer is a big deal. It's always a big deal, but it is really hard on a person's body. And a lot of people, don't make it from having cancer. It can be very sad. And let's look at this one over here. Smoking makes your hair and clothing smell bad. So remember, we talked about if somebody smokes in your house, in your home, your clothing and your hair, everything is going to smell like cigarettes or cigars or whatever is smoked in there. And not everyone thinks that's a pleasant smell. Let's look at this one right here. Smoking makes it hard to breathe, exercise, and play sports. So if you're one of those people that likes to participate in special little basketball or track, it might make it a little harder to do so because it makes it harder to breathe. It's not good for your lungs. Let's look at this one down here. Smoking, vaping, and chewing make it hard for your heart to pump blood through your body. Very important part of your health is your heart because it is responsible for not only pumping blood through your body, but also the oxygen that you breathe in. So if your heart's not working well, your whole body is really not working well. And then lastly, right here, smoking, vaping, and chewing make your whole body get older faster. So it does take years off your life. So if you'd like to pause here and talk more about how tobacco and nicotine affect your body, you can go ahead and do so. Lastly, we're going to look at some different scenarios on practicing how to say no to people. And this is a hard skill. Some of you really struggle with saying no. It is always okay to say no. That's your choice as the person that is responsible for you. We did talk about if, you say no to somebody like your mom or your dad or your grandma, you might not be free from the consequences, but you are always allowed to say no, especially when it comes to things like drugs and alcohol and tobacco. So the scenario, Kim and Selena are at a party. Kim wants Selena to try using a vape pen. Selena does not want to vape. What should she say to Kim? So remember, she doesn't want to do it. Kim's saying, come on, try this. Don't be a baby. Should she say, I'm not a baby. Give me that. Should she say, you're the baby? Or should she say, you can call me names, but I make my own choices. No thanks. What answer do you think is correct? You could say all of these things, but this is the best answer for this situation. So you can call me names, but I make my own choices. No thanks. She didn't want to smoke, so she shouldn't say, give me that, right? Also, sometimes if you meet people's hostility with hostility, it causes an argument. So you probably, if somebody calls you a name, you shouldn't call them a name back, right? Even though you want to sometimes. Let's look at the next one. So here's the scenario for this one. Brian and Elia are on a break at work. Brian wants Elia to try chewing tobacco. Elia does not want to try chewing tobacco. Remember, she does not want to try it. What should she say to Brian? So Brian's not being rude or anything. He just says, just try it. You'll like it. He's holding it out to her with his hand out. Should Elia say, nah, I'm good. I'm going to chew gum instead. Do you want a piece? Should she say, okay, if you think I should? Or should she say, you are crazy. Stay away from me. Pick the answer you think is correct. The best answer, like I said, she could do all of these things. The best answer, though, would just be just to say, because again, Brian's not really being rude. He just kind of asked one time. She should say, nah, I'm good. I'm going to chew gum instead. Do you want a piece? All right, here's the next scenario. So Isela and Elan are bowling. Isela wants Elan to try smoking a cigar. Elan does not want to smoke. What should he say to Isela? And she's saying, see how cool I look? Should he say, you just look stupid? Should he say, okay, you're the coolest. I want to do whatever you do? Or should he say, I'd rather not. I don't think it's actually cool. Thanks, though. Pick which answer you think is correct. And the best answer here is this one. I'd rather not. I don't think it's actually cool. Thanks, though. He shouldn't yell at her and say she looks stupid, right? That's not very nice when all he has to do is say no. And he didn't want to do it, so he shouldn't say, you're the coolest. I want to do whatever you do, because he doesn't want to do that thing. So this is the best answer. Let's try the next scenario. This one says, Brian and Elia are at a party. Brian wants Elia to try smoking a cigarette. Elia does not want to smoke. What should she say to Brian? Brian's over here saying, everybody else smokes. You'll be the only one who doesn't. Should Elia say, that's not true. I know a lot of people who don't smoke. Should she say, really? Okay, I'll try it too then. Or should she say, well, I'm going to tell my mama then. Which answer do you think is the best option? This is the best option out of the ones given here. So remember, Brian says, you'll be the only one who doesn't smoke. Everybody else smokes. Does everybody in the whole world smoke cigarettes? No, they don't. So that's not true. I know a lot of people who don't smoke. That's all she has to say. Again, she doesn't want to try it, so she shouldn't say, really? Okay, I'll try it too then. And she probably shouldn't say, well, I'm going to tell my mom on them. Because especially if this is a person that is over 21, it's legal for them to smoke. So telling your mom on somebody isn't going to make them stop doing whatever it is that they're doing. So all you have to do again is say no. Let's look at this one. Aaron and Nelson finish eating dinner and are leaving the restaurant. Aaron wants Nelson to try his e-cigarette. Nelson does not want to try the e-cigarette. What should he say to Aaron? And here's Aaron saying, want to try my e-cigarette? I love it, and you should try it too. Should he say, no thanks, you can if you want to, but I choose not to? Should he say, well, I don't really want to, but if you think I should, I will? Or should he say, don't talk to me anymore? This one is the best answer right here. No thanks. You can if you want to, but I choose not to. Again, it's probably just better not to meet people with hostility, even if they're asking nice. This one right here, he shouldn't pick this one because he doesn't want to do it, so he shouldn't agree. This one is just overly hostile. Don't talk to me anymore, right? Because he's allowed to smoke an e-cigarette if he wants to, but if our friend Nelson here doesn't want to, all he has to do is say no. All right, this is the last scenario here. So this one says, Estella and Alon are waiting at the bus stop. Estella wants Alon to try vaping. Alon does not want to vape. What should he say to Estella? Should he say, or here is Estella saying, you should try this. There's nothing to be afraid of. So Elon, should he say, you're right, I'll try it? Should he say, I'm not afraid, I'm smart. Nicotine is really bad for you. Or should he say, I'll give it a try if you give me $5. This one right here is the best answer. So he should say, I'm not afraid, right? Because she said, there's nothing to be afraid of. You should say, I'm not afraid. I'm smart. Nicotine is really bad for you because we know that, right? Nicotine is not good for you. Just because a vape may be better than smoking a cigarette does not mean it's good for you to do. He shouldn't say, you're right, I'll try it, because he doesn't want to, right? This option too, he's saying he'll do it when he doesn't want to. But also, you should never ask somebody for $5 to do something that may be dangerous, right? So this one is the best answer. So I hope you guys learned a little bit more today about tobacco and nicotine and how they affect your body. I also hope you practice a little bit with saying no. So we talked about with the very first story you read in this unit that, you know, a person can't read your mind. So if you continue to take cigarettes or drinks from a person and you're not saying no, they don't know that you don't want those. You have to say no. It's also good to be firm while saying no. You know, I'm not saying to be hostile towards a person, but you can just say, no, thank you, I don't want that. But if you're not firm like that and you're like, oh, I don't know, maybe, no, you know, I shouldn't, you know, maybe I'll try it, but no, I shouldn't. If you answer somebody like that, they might think that you might want to try it one day. So it's just better to say, no, thank you, I don't want to. Something like that. Well, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time.